Geremy. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. Can't no complaints. How about yourself?
Bro, I'm blessed, bro. Happy to make it to another new year, bro.
I hear that. I hear that.
I'm blessed, bro. Blessed. So, first and foremost, just want to tell you Happy New Year, bro. I know it's a long time coming since last year because, a lot of things have happened, but I'm telling
Happy
you,
New
man.
Year to you too.
All right, so first and foremost, welcome everybody to Jay's Music Talk 2025. We officially made it, and for the 15th episode, I had to go out big and get this guy, man. This is a guy that I respect in this society. This is a guy that he has done it all, in my opinion. He has done it all. The one, the only Geremy Wimbush. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have you on, bro. It's been a long.
Oh man, thank you for having me.
Of course, bro. Of course. All right, so first off, we're gonna go straight to the beginning to like when did it all start for you? Like when did you realize like the love for music, right? When did it
hmm
grow for you?
I want to say at the age of 3, I was, of course, most drummers have similar stories of mine of just going, grabbing the pots and pans out, and banging on them. And it wasn't until my grandfather, God rest his soul, and my grandmother's pastor,
Mhm.
they had noticed that I was able to keep a beat, and uh, they had to, I guess, try to get my grandmother to see, because she all she was looking at was like, he's just wearing my pots and pans up, tearing them up. But it wasn't until they got her attention to notice that I was able to keep a beat, and then I had something special with it, and I was gonna go far with it. So that's where it
So,
started. From there, of course, I started playing in church where I could barely reach the pedals. I was sitting on the edge of the drum throne, and of course, when you're so young, you got other guys that are older and taller that's playing for uh pretty much the whole service, the main service, the big choirs,
yeah.
everything. And me being so young and so little, all I'm looking at is like, okay, when is my turn? When is my turn? And I used to have my spill outs. My mother, she always would tell me, be patient, your time is coming. Time is coming. Just keep tugging at it. And from there I was always constantly finding something to make rhythm out of, and whether it was just banging on my toys or finding something that sound close to like a a drum set or a drum part. And one day I was at my mother's house and I got really creative to the point where with my toys and other products I found at the house that weren't used. And she basically was shocked. She almost thought I had a real drum set because I didn't always have a real drum set. So I was finding creative ways to take boxes and um cookie cans and toy basketballs and all of that stuff and make it into like my own little contraption. Um, but yeah, that's how I continue to develop, and I was always practicing to. Uh, and back then we had cassette tapes before there were CDs, so I was always practicing to like old gospel records like Timothy Wright, Hezekiah Walker, John P. Key,
Yeah.
um, Milton Brunson, you name it. I was always, and I would try to emulate what I heard on those records to the point where I thought I was actually playing the records with them when I was so young. I'm like,
Hey,
yes, I'm the drummer that's
we've all
playing.
been there, bro. We all been there. We
Yeah,
all been there.
so
We've all been there.
so from there, as I got older, and through schooling, never forget, um during my school, like elementary school up until, sometimes I would take pencils and I'd be banging on the desk and everything, and
Mhm.
sometimes getting in trouble with my teachers and saying, and they couldn't understand why I would just, until um there were time. I think it was this one time we had like a talent show or some kind of assembly or something, and
Mhm.
um one of my music teachers, she put, or I couldn't even remember if it was a she or he, but I was in the center of the stage and the rest of my classmates was like surrounding me. So, and we was just, we had to, it was one particular project where we had to take like, them plastic cups you drink out of. It's like
Yeah.
them, I think it's like grayish looking, and we had to like make a contraption of like some kind of drum to make a rhythm or something. So we would
Oh.
take like arts and craft pieces like tape and stuff like that, and straws and anything we can find. And that particular day, we were just making rhythm. It
Mhm.
was about making rhythm. And one day, my teacher, she went around, they or she or he, I can't even remember, went
Been
around,
that long? It's been
right,
that long.
went around to each one of us to I guess see what we had came up with and play a little solo and whatever. And it got to my turn, and my classmates and everybody was just like amazed, like, wow, I've never seen anybody ever do anything like that before, because normally it's just like, okay, we just gonna do,
Yeah,
beats
yeah.
like stuff like that. But I was doing a lot of intricate stuff at an early age where it
Mm.
wasn't really common to them, but they know it sounded good.
Yeah.
So we had an assembly, and I was in the middle, and we played the beat. We all playing the beat,
Mm.
and then it got time to my turn, and I was just soloing in front of the whole school,
Oh.
and everybody's saying go Jeremy," and everything. So that was a good memorable moment there. As I got older, through junior high, I enrolled into the band course. So I had experience. I had phenomenal band director in the name of um, Mr. Hoover.
Mm.
I don't know if he's still living or not, but he was an amazing band director. He really really showed me the ropes in learning rudiments, learning how to read, and he also noticed that I had something special as well. Um, of course, he had to uh, kind of groom me into being level headed, you know, um, and being humble and just staying focused with my gift. But yeah, I've learned so much from him. So that's why I got my marching band, semi marching band training.
Mm.
Um, of course, I got a chance to play for junior high chorus, the choirs, and then through high school, uh, my next band director, Mr. Hugh Barnes, out of Crossland High School in the DMV area. Um, he took what I knew even further to the next level. He also noticed I had something special, and he will always. And I used to wonder, like, man, every time I get around, a band director or somebody, I was always the one to get picked with the most. But I didn't realize until that it was just like they saw potential in me that uh, they didn't see in everybody else like they did me. So they wanted. I guess that's why they was so hard on me or pushing me to my fullest potential, because they knew I was gonna be great and I was gonna go far in everything I'm doing. With this drumming thing, and even in my career, I'm sure they probably saw a glimpse of my future then. But learning from him, I learned a lot more advanced reading, more marching band stuff, more jazz band,
Hmm.
um, concert band stuff. So that's when I learned how to play marimba and xylophone. And at the time, um, I was just now discovering notes and how they work and keys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, um, and that was my freshman year. So of course, um, around that time, I was going to school with. I'm pretty sure you've heard a buddy of mine that I've done countless of records with. His name is Riley Anderson. Everybody know him as RC.
Yeah.
Um, um, good buddy of mine. His name is Darrell Cunningham, but everybody know him as Munchie. He's a barber now in the DMV area, but he also still plays drums.
Mm.
Um, Kenny Diggs, K Bass.
Kenny, yes,
So
sir.
we all came from like the same teaching. But yeah, my freshman year, and then my sophomore through my senior, I had transferred because my dad had moved to a different city,
Mm.
and so my next high school I went to was Frederick Douglass High School in Upper Marlboro, Maryland.
Mm.
So and my uh band director there was Mr. Giles. Now, of course, um, transferring, it wasn't really an easy thing because of my comfort
Yeah.
zone and the
Yeah. Moving
connection, my
away from what
friends
you're
and everything.
familiar with.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so I had to start from ground zero again.
Yeah. That's like
And
starting. Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
I know
but
what it's like.
but I was fortunate enough to meet good friends like Brandon Macklin.
Yeah.
Of course, many of you know. Um, buddy of mine named Jerome Baylor. He's a phenomenal producer and writer now. He was a drummer. He's still a drummer too to this day. And uh, my other friend, a guy rest his soul too. His name is David R. Callahan. He was like one of my closest best friends. Played drums with me as well.
Okay.
So we were always like hanging tight, and around the time Brandon used to talk about you know Aaron Spears, right?
God rest
So I'm
his
like,
soul, man. Aaron Spears,
yeah.
a legend. God rest
so
his soul.
so I was like, and this is when before the world really got to know who Aaron was, and he um he brought me around to meet him,
Mm.
and the first time I met him, I was just blown away. But I didn't know he was connected to another friend of mine named Jamal Moore, where my aunt was attending his father's church at the time, and I used to see Jamal play all the time. And I was just like, man, he's so cold. And at the time, my boy RC, he was cold, sweet on drums. Like I used to think stuff he was doing was hard. Fun fact, though, I want to let you know this, and I'm pretty sure many parties are gonna be shocked. RC actually was one of the ones that showed me my first chop on
Really?
drums in high school. Yes,
First
like this is
shot.
around the time when, like, with the motorbiking and getting crazy with combinations was in style at the time.
Mm.
So yeah, he showed me, but he was doing it like on a whole nother level. So shout out to RC. Um, Shout out to Brandon for his contributions as well. He actually showed me a couple of things with playing music and just um building relationships, and when I met Aaron and Jamal and um basically everybody around the DMV area, from
Yeah.
going to sheds and stuff like that, I tend to that's how I developed my sound. I got my start,
Yes, sir.
and um I just went from there, start building more relationships with homeboy Quadra Salters. He's from the Tupelo, Mississippi, but he's been in the DMV area for countless of 20 plus years. So he might as well be one of us. So, but yeah, he's given me opportunity to travel and play for big artists such as like Baron Cage. I
Mm,
got a chance to work with Ty Tribbett because at the time Ty was at his church as well.
yeah.
I got a chance to work for Ernest Pugh, and I just got a chance to meet many others. But definitely like people like him and RC, they really helped me and grew me in my music journey and being a professional that I am. Of course, shout out to homie Joe Willett.
Mm,
Fun fact, I can't really take all the credit for this, but he really started me on knowing how to really tune drums.
okay.
Right? Yeah. So and then from there, I went and did my own research. But yeah, I have to definitely shout him out as well. So from there, um, traveling with Quad and of course in RC, of course, I was playing for Kevin Terry and Predestined
Mm,
and Drama Evans and Worship Forever. Then I also got a chance to play with Gerald Scott, who was another phenomenal artist in the DMV area. I have nothing but love and respect for them for giving me the opportunity to be a part of their masterpieces of work. And um, yeah, so I guess to back up with where I was with Quad, I was traveling with him and I got to meet other people, such as Antoine Walker,
mhm,
and I didn't know they knew each other from playing the conventions and stuff. And I used to watch Antoine when he was playing for E. Dewey Smith when they was in the Dream Center building.
mm.
I used to watch them. It was just like, man, this is amazing. And I was just hoping to meet them one day. And opportunity came. Uh, I was doing a McDonald's show with Baron. He was playing with Kenton Jones, and that's when I met Devin Sticks Taylor. This was when he was the hottest thing on the block, still is, but he was on the up and coming. And I've met Jermaine Morgan and Will Donnie, and from there we just created our own camaraderie and our own relationship together. And it was this one particular time when Antoine he reached out to me and said, "Hey man, I got this recording. I would love for you to be a part of."
Wow.
Turns out the recording was for Mignon Bolton,
Hmm.
and and from there, I developed a relationship with her as well as many others. Of course, I had a following from playing with Kevin Terry. I'm pretty sure you probably seen the video that went viral. I was playing the song "I Win,"
Yeah.
and uh, they kept panning the camera every time I did something. But yeah, from there,
Drum licks, bro. I'm
um,
telling you, those drum licks. I can't.
yeah. So from there, of course, I was able to get discovered by even more people in the Atlanta area. They was really, really, really trying to look, stay, just stay. So, um, and at the time, my mind wasn't there, but I knew eventually I wasn't gonna be in the DMV area, my hometown, much longer. I didn't know when it was gonna happen, but I knew eventually my career was gonna go somewhere where I would have to transition from home. And quite as kept, I'm here in Atlanta. I moved about 2 years later, and that's when I actually met my wife here.
Mm,
But at the time when we were dating and talking, or getting to know each other, whatever you want to call it, she was still in Memphis and I was still in the DMV area. So we
okay.
actually was getting to know each other that way. But a crazy story about that. 2 years ago from that then, which was 2013, we met in 2015. But 2013, I was at an AIM convention. I had to play for Sean Tillery and Gerald Scott,
Gerald Scott.
and
Yeah.
yeah.
Gerald.
So what's crazy is we were on stage sitting feet away from each other. Didn't even know it.
Mm.
And it's so crazy,
Wow.
like how it comes full circle, where it's like 2 years later,
Mm-hmm.
we're we're making a connection, and
Mm.
the rest is history. But
But God.
I say since my transition here in Atlanta, um, I started Antoine. He gave me an opportunity to start with Angie Stone.
Mm-hmm.
So I was touring and playing with her, and then the top of the following year, I want to say 2016.
Yeah.
One of my best friends, a good friend of mine, his name is Jay Troy.
Uh-huh.
Many of many you that's in here, or if not, know his brother as Pastor Troy. He's like a Atlanta legend. He called me, I think it was a day or two after the New Year in 2016, and
Okay.
and he was like, hey, I've heard about you. My name is Jay Troy. I'm inquiring about a drummer for Music Soul Child. And I said, yeah, yeah. He said, many spoke highly of you, and uh, I want to know if you're interested in doing an audition. So I said,
Wow.
yeah, for sure. He said, okay, I'm gonna send you a 10-minute show. Just learn it verbatim. And at the
Mm-hmm.
time, Devin was the drummer. He was playing, so I had to match what he was playing. And he had another big opportunity with Bieber. So he was showing me the ropes, like, hey, like this is what the gig is, think this, or of course Jay Troy, he gonna show you the ropes and everything. But basically he gave me a cool nuggets before I got in the room. So yeah, Jay Troy sent me the audition, and I had to come in 2 days later. I think that was he sent it on a Monday, and I had to come in and audition on that Wednesday.
Okay.
So at that time, I had little to no experience really playing in the secular arena. I always wanted to do it because it was a dream of mine. And of course, watching Aaron and all of my favorites play on that level, it was just like, man, I want to achieve that. And so the opportunity presented itself, and um, I'm, I guess the time came for my audition. Of course, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Like I was nervous. I was really really
We
nervous.
were all nervous, bro.
But the thing is, it was good nerves. They always say, if you're not nervous, there's something is wrong. You know.
So,
So yeah, but I did my homework and I learned the show verbatim, and I went in there in confidence and auditioned.
mm,
Um, he says so. Jay Troy tells me after the audition, he says, I'm gonna give you a call later this week to let you know what the verdict is. Right? Um, that was Wednesday. Friday comes, he calls me. He says, "Hey man, so um, we went over the results and everything. It was close, but I think I want to roll with you." And I'm just like, wow, like this is actually really happening. And I called my mom. She was like overjoyed. She like just like, you play with music, soldier. Oh man, like oh. But my mom, she was always supportive of me though. Through my musical journey, she's always invested in my craft, whether it was buying sticks, drum heads, snare drums, even my grandmother. Well, I would say the majority of my family. Um,
your
they
grandmother
always
was
they
constant
all
food.
they always supported me in everything I did. And my dad. So um yeah, fast forward, that happens, and I'm just like, wow, I actually got the opportunity to do this gig. And at the time, I'm still playing with Angie Stone, so I'm just the back of my mind. I'm like, oh, dang. So how this is gonna work too? But luckily, it panned out. I talked to J. Troy, I talked to Antoine, and basically they told me how to go about the situation, and I was able to keep my relationship with Angie and still work with her while I was doing Music Soul Child. And I've I developed my relationship with music, and I played with him up until 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I, but the year before, I want to say 2017, one of my good friends, Jamal Moore, he came in town. He was rehearsing with TLC, and he wanted me to come through his rehearsal to meet um, a good buddy of his that was the music director for them and many others. His name was Young World. So I developed my relationship with him, and, and I want to say the year of 2019, he calls me and say, "Hey man, I got this artist I'm working with now. Her name is Leela James." I'm like, "Okay, cool, nice." He said, "I definitely I'm interested in using you on that situation. I'm gonna give you the details regarding that situation, and we're just gonna go from there."
Wow.
So I had the pleasure of working with her. She's a phenomenal artist. Very good with the crowd. Um, musical genius, and she loves to have fun. She's a good person. I would basically every artist I work with, they're great people. I have
Mm.
nothing bad to say about them. They've all I can do is just thank them for the opportunity they've given me to um share the stage with them, and I've learned so much from them throughout my journey of just knowing how to conduct myself on a professional level. So um yeah, that happened. Lita James. Then another buddy of mine calls me a year later or two, or no, 20, 2020. I got a chance to do a hit with that Black Tree with Young World. He hit me for that. Then the pandemic happens. Everything shut down. So it's like, dang, what are you gonna do? What you gonna do? I was still playing in church, of course. Um, so I decided to take my content a little seriously. So I did a couple videos, or probably more than that. I'm not sure. Around that time. So um, the feedback from it was great. People were like, you need to post more. You need to. I want to see more. So another buddy of mine, Alex Plummer, he calls me for 112. So I got a chance to play for them, and he also calls me for who I'm currently playing with now, is Jagged Edge. And I got to
Mm.
play with them and develop my relationship with them as well. So I would say my musical journey. I've been blessed and fortunate to be in the right place, the right time with these people who's given me the opportunity to share my gifts and talents with them on the stage and around the world.
Yes,
And
sir.
I'm sure it's plenty other artists I've worked with. I can't really think off the top of my head right now, but I also want to shout them out as well and give them um, their respect for allowing me to be a part of their masterpiece of work. And I guess now the rest is history.
Yes, sir, bro. Yes, sir. I was actually gonna get to that too about you know, when you went to go play with KCJ, right?
hmm
Like you went to go play where
Oh yeah,
I
let
want
me
to know
stop you
like I want
there.
to know like the story behind that. Like how did you like get that gig and like yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So there's another person I wanted to mention. Now that you bring it up, thank you. So Casey J, shout out to Casey for allowing me to be a part of her masterpiece of work. I'm sorry, but I got the opportunity from my bro John Webb,
Mhm.
another one that I have um nothing but love and respect for. That's given me opportunities to be a part of even more bigger platforms. I got, not only did I have a chance to work with him on the KCJ record, but I had a chance to work with him with William Murphy.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh my
um,
God. Really?
I got a chance to work with him on Full Gospel Month of
Mm,
Sundays. So
mm,
I'm not sure if you heard that record, but it's
yeah.
out. And many others. So yeah, shout out to my bro John Webb. That's another one that was a big part of my musical journey, and he also made me feel like I can do this on a high level. I can have whatever it is that I say I want. Um, he really like empowered me and imparted a lot of gems that I still carry with myself along the way to this day. So shout out to my
Mm.
bro, big bro John Webb.
Wow, bro. Wow. So I don't normally ask this, but like, if we were to go back to that time, what would you say like was your favorite song on that record playing for KCJ?
My favorite song, uh, uh, I think 1,000 Hallelujahs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, brother. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, that Caribbean vibe,
The
man.
Afro
I love it.
beat, yeah, that's the I love playing Afro beats. I love playing in 6/8 shuffles.
I actually did a
Um,
cover on it too, actually.
really, I gotta check it out.
It's on YouTube, bro. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send it to you. But
Bet,
yeah,
bet, bet.
also yeah, I also did a cover on it, and bro, I was vibing to it, man.
Really?
I was vibing to that thing. It was a multiple parts thing too. Like I wasn't just playing keys. I was just playing multiple instruments that I heard on the record.
Uh-huh.
The only thing that I didn't play was the drums. I said, oh, my boy Geremy got that already. So
Uh,
I'm gonna just play everything else. But nah, but I was vibing to it though.
oh wow. Man, that's an honor. I appreciate that.
I love that song. I love The Gathering as well. It's a good worship song as well. I love Everything I
Yes.
Do. Everything I Do is a good one as well.
Oh yeah, that's another one of my favorites.
Yeah,
That's
Everything I Do is a vibe. Yeah, I
yeah.
love it. Yeah.
Yeah, she had a great body of work on that project. I will say that I still listen to this that record still to this day. Um
Mm, me too,
it's
bro.
definitely
Me too.
another
Me too. Me
favorite
too,
of
bro.
mine. And
Mm,
like I said, my boy John, he's done a phenomenal job in bringing that record to life with all his behind the scenes of production and executive producing and
he's the bass
everything.
player, right?
He's the bass player.
I figured. I
Yeah,
figured.
so if you heard, he's actually, and he's also the bass player and producer of, part producer of Beyonce. If you heard Deja Vu, like that
Yeah.
classic, that's
Hmm.
him. Yeah, that's
Oh my
him.
God. So he's done. He's in the big leagues. Big leagues. Okay.
Oh yeah, he's worked with Janelle Monáe. He's worked with
Mm,
uh so it's so many so many artists, but no, he's well respected
yes.
in the music industry. So yeah, shout out to John again. I know we mentioned him a lot, but yeah, shout out to him.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. Bro, another thing, bro. I want to talk about this one viral video with you and Jelani, bro.
Oh yeah,
Bro, remember that? Yeah, that one video with one, bro.
yes.
I love that video. I want to talk about that a little bit. Like when y'all was doing it, like what came to y'all minds? Like how did y'all come together and and come about that?
So it started from the artist herself, Jordan
Mm-hmm.
Welch. Shout out to Jordan. I want to thank her as well for allowing me to be a part of her masterpiece of work. I had a lot of fun recording that record with her. But no, in all seriousness, she was the worship leader at our church, Elizabeth Baptist Church. Shout out to Elizabeth Baptist Church.
Mm.
Um, And one day she came in and she was really, really astonished at how well I've been connected. And basically um, reached out to me, Jelani and Brian King, who's another uh, phenomenal keyboardist. Like he's just, if y'all don't know this guy, get to know him. Like follow him, whatever. Like he's amazing. And Jelani, who is multifaceted, talented instrumentalist, producer. Um, he's another one that has great musical insight and I believe is can be the next Adam Blackstone, if you will. I'm speaking it into existence.
Yes,
You
sir.
know? But yeah, she reached out to us. She came to us one day and she was like, doing a recording and I would love to have you all be a part.
Mhm.
And so um we was like, yeah, we're down, you know. Uh then it was a time where I almost didn't make it. I almost wasn't able to do it because I had got called for another tour that was going
Mhm.
to clash in that time for K Michelle. S
K Michelle, yes, K Michelle,
Yeah.
yeah.
So um that happened, but of course, with tours stuff changes.
Mhm.
So they decided to have me pre-record my parts from the crib, and they was
Mhm.
just going to mix it and take it on the road on the tour
Okay.
and play it in the arena. So fortunately, I was able to kind of will my way back in the situation of being able to still do the recording for Jordan.
So you was kind of in two places at once.
Yes, and I was just like, at that time, I was hurt because I was like, no, 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 no. Like, I really want to do this recording. I do, but I also want to do this tour. But
Mhm.
it worked out. It worked out. So I was able to do the recording, and um, from there, uh, since the record came out, it's been doing really, really well. Um, I've been getting a lot of calls from different friends of mine and other people, associates that was saying like, man, I really love the project. I love everything y'all played on it. I love everything. So a good buddy of mine, Tamis, who does the Drumble,
Oh, the Nigerian guy, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
he has yeah, make sure you all subscribe to
Yeah,
his page.
yeah,
He has
follow and subscribe, man.
yes,
That guy can play the drums.
yes, and he has, he has great content up there from other drummer friends of mine and bass players, if you will, are playing some phenomenal stuff. And I still watch it to this day where I'm just like, man, that like they're playing some stuff, man.
Yeah,
Like
man.
I'm gonna add that to my arsenal. But yeah, he reached out to us and was saying like, hey man, um, I've been doing this drum and bass combo thing. I've been checking y'all out on Jelani's feed and videos he's been posting, and he's been digging it. So he was just like, man, I would love to have you guys do a drum and bass combo, because you guys be locking.
Yeah, I
Every
got
time I watch a
chemistry.
video Jelani put up, he's like, man, y'all be on another level. So we was like, yeah, we're down. We're down to do it. We get there and we setting up and we thinking like, dang, okay, what song we gonna play? Because so much has been going on in our daily lives as far as not just with our career but family and everything. So like our time been all over the place. So uh yeah, we was thinking. He's like, yo, you want to play one? I said, yeah, yeah, we could do that. We could do that. I think that'd be good, especially for um well, now that the recording is done,
Hmm.
we can pretty much play a more raw version of us playing more stuff than we did on the record.
Yeah.
So um, I was like, yeah, I think that'd be pretty dope. So we played it, and from the first take, Tommy's just like, man, yeah, yeah, crazy. So he's like, yo, let's do it. We did like numerous amount of takes, but it was just two takes that he was just like, man, was it was hard to choose from, but they were like the golden takes. I guess you would say, and so we were all deciding on which one would be the take that he'll upload, and which is the one that you all are seeing now, and it's it's been doing pretty well. We actually we had a lot of fun with that one. A lot of fun. So
Mm. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. What drumming brand do you enjoy playing the most?
um the most, just because I play it, I'm not biased to other brands, but of course, DW
You
drums,
know, you know,
they're
I was just about to say DW as well. You look like a
yeah,
DW
I'm
type
I'm
of
I love DW drums, but I don't love it just because of it's just a popular drum company that's out, or just the bandwagon company.
yeah.
No, I actually done my research on DW. I love the craftsmanship, and I still do even more research on them, as well as new products that they have coming out.
Hmm.
Um, I think for my sound and the way I love to hear the drums and um, set up drums, they fit me very well. But I will say this: other drum companies like Pearl, Tama, Yamaha, you
Hmm.
name it, they still can hold down. They
Of
still
course.
have what I've learned, um, just about studying drums in general. My um, years of just drumming. Um, each company has something to offer,
Of
and they
course.
have their own characteristics, which you know is it's a great thing. You don't want something that sounds like something else,
Yeah.
because it's like, why I might as well just buy this. But no, they all have something to offer,
Hmm.
and
They each own have their
if you
special features.
right,
Yeah.
and if you're a drummer that is just a fan of just tone in general, because
Mhm.
tone is a big part of
Of course.
um you know drums and music. So I've just because of my time I put in, of learning how to tune drums and being efficient at it, and learning about the different characteristics of drum heads. And I'm gonna give out a free game for the drummers that's in here, or I guess if you lead us up. So I guess if people want to come back and watch it, um, when you buy drum heads, I don't care if it's Evans or Remo or Aquarius. On the back of each drum head, it tells you majority of all the heads that's in that family,
Mhm.
and it tells you the characteristics of what each head does for the tone that you're trying to capture on a drum. So I would say pay attention to that when it comes to um, achieving the tone that you want to achieve. Also pay attention to the kind of shell that you're using, whether it's like a maple shell, birch, cherry, oak, you name it. Um, pay attention to that as well, because they both work hand in hand with each other. So,
Yes, sir.
um, but yeah, to go back to just drum brands in general, I'm not biased to any company. If you make good products, you make good products. That's just I am. But just for me, if it came down to like backline support, or just what I just love, DW just fits me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If you were to collab with like any musician, right, that you haven't collabed with,
Hmm.
or right, if you were
Hmm.
to collab with any musician that you have worked with but haven't worked with in a long time, who would you want to work with again, or work with that you haven't worked with?
Hmm. If there was a musician or a producer or just a musician in general,
Hey, musician, producer, as long as it has to do with music, brother. That's all I got to say.
I want to work with Greg Games.
I like your taste, bro.
Yes,
Yo,
I would love to work with him. I would love to. I would love to work with like a Mano Haynes. I would love to work with um even like a Ricky Minor. You
bro,
know,
we're gonna be best friends, bro. Cause
yeah, like
you read my,
yeah. I and and even if Adam Blackstone gave me an opportunity, I'd love to work with Adam Blackstone.
of course.
Um, the reason I I say those people is because um they're showing what they're displaying what I'm watching and where I get my excitement from. And I will I not only want to work with them for just to have an opportunity just to play, but I want to expand my musical knowledge
Yeah, your
from not just the
creativity.
music side, but the business side, the way the arena works, you know, the whole industry. How to put what does it take to put a full production like that together? You get what I'm saying?
Yes,
Like
sir.
right now, where I am with my career is about being uh, making yourself more valuable and with things that you expand in, whether it's like mixing or programming or mastering or just arranging, whatever it is. I want to be able to do that on uh, a high level where it's one of them things where it's acceptable in uh, the music industry where it is now.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But
yeah.
also, I want to be able to make impact with my career in um that arena with them people. I want to be able to um I don't say this as just being cliche or whatever. I really do want to be a trendsetter and a game changer. I do. I want to be. I always looked at myself as set apart from the masses. I don't want to. I have my own identity. I don't want to be like anybody but me.
Yes,
But I also
sir. The right
I want to
mentality.
be able to bring something uh to the table where um people dig it. Dig what I'm doing, like whatever it is. So.
Yes, sir, bro. I like what you said about, having your own identity because many, many musicians like now of today, bro, they just want to mimic other people's sound. And sometimes it's okay to draw from other musicians. It's okay to do that, but it's also another thing when you're, trying to be exactly like them, like mimic their sound, mimic everything. And so I used to be one of them. I'm gonna be honest with you. I used to be one of them. I used to be one of them. I used to be one of them that wanted to be like a lot of people, a lot of musicians, but
Hmm.
I had to learn that look, as much as the inspiration and stuff like that, you have to find your own sound because at the end of the day, if you're if you're just trying to be them,
Hmm.
like who are you?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Right.
because there can only be one them. You know what I'm saying? You,
Hmm.
you can sound like them, but you can never be them because there's only going to be one them, and there's only going to be one you. So the
Right.
best thing is just be the best you as possible.
Yep.
So I like what
And
so
I
I
would
like what
say
you said about
this.
that.
I would say this. There's nothing wrong with having influences because Truth be told, we all had influences coming up,
Of course.
so we had to have something to pull from. I think the thing is not being stuck in one thing of making you one dimensional. It's a matter of pulling from so many different things that helps create your identity, and that's what many of the greats have done, to the point where they have a signature sound, and which made their name a household name, to the point where if they walk in the room or if you listen to a record, you know it's them.
Mm, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Let me see. Um, you basically answered my other question when you was talking about your wife too, because I was gonna ask about your marital status, bro.
Oh
But
yeah,
you
yeah,
basically answered
yeah,
my question.
yeah,
You basically
yeah.
answered my question. But nah, but like, so like, has she like ever like, would you say like she has helped develop your, well, supported your music in such a way that helped you become
Oh,
better?
absolutely, absolutely. My wife has been one of my biggest supporters, um, since I've came across her outside of my family. She supports everything I do. She even um give me ideas that I'm like, man, dang, that's crazy. I never would have thought of that. She also makes sure my appearance is great. She makes sure that um I'm pacing myself with when it comes to speaking to people or just in general, just because sometimes whether it's an interview or whether you're just playing in front of people, uh, it's natural to get nervous and jittery to the point where like almost like you have almost about to have a panic attack. I'm sorry.
Brother,
And so
I've been there. I've been there, bro. When, yeah, I've been there.
yeah, so she help she's a big help in that area of me pacing myself and reminding me who I am, and being being confidently me.
That's all. That's all. That's what it's about, bro. Confidence, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's all about,
Uh,
bro. I'm gonna give you a little quick story, bro. Cause like,
okay.
yeah. So like, I'm 18, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna be 19 in August. So
Okay.
like, I started like my music journey started when I was 7 years old. Again, I started out on drums. For those that
Mm-hmm.
didn't know, I started out on drums, and I was pretty soft. And I'm gonna let you know right now. The reason why I was so good at drums, it was you. It was you really that really like. I'm
Oh
telling the truth. It was
man,
really
I'm
you that made me
honored.
want to be on the drums. I'm being honest with you.
Wow,
And
I'm
then
honored.
yeah, you made me want to be on the drums. And a little when I got older, I realized my little cousin was coming up,
Mm-hmm.
and just like you, bro, I used to use the pots and pans too. And bro, I live in a
Never
Caribbean.
fails.
I live in a Caribbean household. Can you imagine my mother? Can you imagine?
Oh
I'm making
yeah.
all that noise in the house. Exactly. So
Mm-hmm.
like I started out on drums. When I reached about 14, 15, my little cousin was coming up and he was doing the same thing. It ran in the family because I come from a musical family. It runs in the family, so he wanted to be on drums. So you know what? And I started developing a love for the keys. Yeah, so then I said I gave the drums to him. I still
Mm-hmm.
play the drums still, don't get me wrong. But I gave the drums to him and I started playing keys. Like right now, me and him playing church. Like right now, me and him playing church. And I've been playing the keys since I was 15. Yeah, and the first gig I played was last year in March. Yeah,
Mm.
last year in March. That was my first gig. Um yeah, my again, I was recommended just like you. So my friend, he
Mm-hmm.
he needed a aux player
Mm-hmm.
and he thought of me. So he called me up this one day, right?
Yep.
and he asked me to come down and play for him. So then I was like, all right, I'm down. And my dad plays the bass, so he called him for the to play the bass as
Mm-hmm.
well. And so that was my first gig. My second gig though, it it, it was like worldwide because I was going. Funny thing, I was going to rehearsal with my sister.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then the district leader came up to me while they was rehearsing
Mm-hmm.
because they needed they needed an aux player, and then so he was telling me like, look, I've been watching your Instagram reels, and I've been seeing like you seem to know a lot about these stuff. So then he was like he was offering me a position. I didn't say yes right away though, although I wanted to play, but I didn't say yes right away. But bro, funny thing, as I
What up,
got in the
fellas?
car, I just as I got in the car, it was like I just automatically accepted. I called him while I was in the car and I was like, okay, bro, I'll do it. Like that was a crazy thing. But my first experience playing up there though, I would say though, it was new for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, being like what you said about, being in a new environment.
Yep.
It was very new for me. But over time, I started getting used to them. Like even now, as we enter into the new year,
Mm-hmm.
like now I'm a part of the music team. Like even now, and it's so funny because after that um after that conference, it was a 3-day conference
Right.
in different locations. Yeah. So after the third location, and we all went home, I did a vlog on it as well. Um, it's so funny. I got a call after that. I
Wow.
got a call after that, right, from the district president. Mind you, I'm not close with this man. My sister is, not me. And
Wow.
so, bro, I was shocked when he was calling me because I'm like, oh, he calling me, so something got to be up.
Right.
So then, so then I answered him, right. So
Mm-hmm.
he was saying like, oh, brother so and so mentioned you when I told him that I needed a keys player, and he recommended you, and I'm like, wow. I said, look at God, man. I said, look at God. And then on top of that, then he was like, we're gonna be having a special guest artist come down. I'm like, are you, bro? I thought he was lying when he said this, bro. I said,
Really?
there's no way I'm gonna be playing behind this guy. I said, there's no way. But that's just to say, like, look, if you just stay faithful. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, everyone's timing is not, the same. You're not gonna get called. Like when you hear these stories, bro, it's like, okay, this person gets called to play at this event, so and
Mm-hmm.
so, right? They
Mm-hmm.
they feel like the process is gonna be the same for them. But you have to realize not everyone's timing is your timing, bro. We all have different timing. Sometimes, all right, for example, you might get called to play um somewhere this year, but for me, it might take me like years until I get called. Like everyone's timing is different. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like that's just to show like stay under the shadows. You know what I'm saying? Just practice and get better. Not being
Mm-hmm.
not being not being called to play at certain events doesn't mean like they don't want to use you. You know what I'm saying? I don't look at it like that.
Right.
I don't look at it as if like, oh, I'm not good enough and stuff like that. That's just to be like, okay, that's just a sign like, okay, I gotta prepare myself more because it's gonna come a time when you will be needed.
Oh, of
Eventually,
course. Most
it's
certainly.
gonna
Most
come a
certainly.
time when you're gonna be needed. Just like your story when you got called to play for a whole lot of people, Byron Cage, Ty Tribbett, Casey J, and all those people. And I'm telling you, man, like you for you, you're doing good, bro.
Oh
For
man,
you,
I appreciate it.
you're doing exceptional, man.
I think the thing that always sticks with me too is um having a good foundation and always know that my opportunities uh come from one person, and that's the man upstairs. Um, and I can't take credit for everything.
Mm.
And calls are based off of preference and that's. Yep, that is correct, Phil. I always had to remind myself that in the Bible it says your gift will make room for you and bring you before great people. Thing I would like to add with that is being a good steward over your gift more so.
Yeah,
Like the more you tug at your gift and you stay faithful over the few things, even the little things, like it prepares you for being able to handle the bigger things. And one thing, what I'm learning as my faith walk is growing, is you gotta have faith. You gotta believe. You gotta believe that there's purpose for what you're doing. You know, and with good intentions. You know, if you and it's about your heart posture with it. Um, and if your heart is in the right place, um, the residue of it will spread around people that you're working with,
yeah,
to the point where your name will circulate in other rooms, even when you don't even know it. You know. All right.
yeah, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
bro.
That's
Like
a little
I
perfect.
definitely get what you're saying. So like in finishing, if you were to give any advice to the people that's watching, what advice would you give to help better themselves and get to the level where you are now?
Um. Okay. After I get his advice, I do want to bring one other person in if he doesn't mind, because he has some good nuggets too. If you don't mind, his name is Phil Walker. He's spitting the real facts. Um, so the question was, you said if I was to give any
If I
nuggets.
was, if you were, yeah, if you were to give any nuggets advice about how to get to the next level and how to reach the place that you are, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Well, one, I would say, be authentically yourself. You know, we have enough clones out here. People want you. People want what you have to bring to the table. Of
true,
course, you know, in every situation, um, you're not going to just up and be the uh, um, what's the word I'm looking for? You're not going to be the person where it's just like, oh, you have it all. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
There's always something new to learn, and it's about being open, even though you may have a lot of experience and information uh, with your expertise of your craft and your career. You always want to walk in any situation with a fresh mind, um, and uh, make sure your character is intact, because people want to know that you are a cool person to be around rather than being a jerk. You
yeah,
know, I know you heard that saying where your gift can take you where your character can keep you, right?
hmm,
So character is a big part of um what makes you uh a great person to work with. Like
yeah,
um if you notice, like I'm pretty sure you heard, we know about Aaron Spears was an amazing drummer, but everybody kept talking about his character. You know,
yeah,
that's what uh, drew people to Aaron even more as a likable guy, a likable individual, and where his gift was just well respected. Also, I would say um, learn as much as you can in your craft. Don't learn just the bare minimum. because the bare minimum can only get you but so far, especially if you want to do it on a super high level. Um,
Mm-hmm.
People want to know that you are, or better yet, producers and music directors. They want to know that you are well equipped with not just your playing, your business, your professionalism, um, your awareness to things. They want to know that they can trust you. Trust is a big thing. I wouldn't just say
Yes.
just in music, trust in anything. People want to know they can trust you.
Yes, sir, bro.
Phil, you still there? Like people really want to know that you can, they can trust you. So
Yeah.
like I would say, know, all things positive. Oh man, appreciate you, Southside. Um, Phil, I just sent you a request. Did you get it? Um, Hold on. There we go. Did you get it, Phil? My guy Sean, what's up? DT, yes sir. Trust goes a long ways. It does. Like, um, people really want to know that they can they can trust you. Like, it's a big thing. In life in general. And then I would say, your principles of life, how you carry yourself, like being a person with morals and values, you
Mm-hmm.
know, where uh people want to be around you even more outside of the plane. You get what I'm saying? They want to learn from you. How you conduct yourself with your family, how you manage your money, um, just everything positive. I would tell any young and up and coming, okay, you accepted it. I don't see you. I mean, uh, Phil, yeah. Hold on. Let me see what's going on. Um, Not sure why it's not doing it.
Not sure either.
Uh, it says I'm a moderator. Okay, take yourself off of it as a moderator then. That's probably why. That's probably what it is. Is there a way I can do it?
I think so. Nah, but bro, it's an honor to have you on this show, man. Thank you
Yeah.
so much,
So
man.
yeah, man. So like I would say okay, okay. Are you in? Um, there we go.
There we go.
All
Brother.
right, yeah.
There it
Bill
is.
Walker, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,
Woo!
sir. How you doing, bro?
Hey, what's up, man? Been
Yeah,
enjoying your live for
man.
sure.
Like so like Phil, he's another one that was a big part of my musical journey. Like I was privileged to serve with him at his father's church, Bethel Deliverance Outreach Ministries.
Mhm.
So and his father's an amazing pastor. I learned a lot from him and everybody, even his kids. And Phil is definitely one of the ones that believed in me as well as a young buck coming up. And he has a lot of gems too, as well, as far as in prepping yourself as a younger guy. Like Phil, you got anything you want to say? Like,
Well, first I would like to say thank you for having me on. Um, Geremy is a product of the DMV, so Atlanta don't claim him; he belongs there.
Proud product, proud
There's-
product.
no. Jeremy, man, he came when Jeremy was introduced to our music scene. He came in smoking, like he came in really good. Like he was super good. He was like a kid basically, but he came in with a wealth of knowledge already. So it was really just the opportunity that he needed to platform his gift. And sometimes, like you said, you'll see people that have skill, but sometimes they just need an opportunity. And so when you take every opportunity seriously, it leads to more opportunities. Sometimes, especially as being church, if you start off as a church musician, whether you got a hopes to get on the road or play for a big artist, you like, okay, you take the church situation small, like it's not a big deal, it's just regular church service and stuff like that. But when you do that, how are you expecting to be prepared for the big stage? So you got to use the small stage to prepare for the big stage. So, if you want to be playing patterns with an SPDS pad, how you gonna know how to do it if you ain't doing it in church? If you ain't doing it in the practice time? So you got to
Start
use those.
somewhere.
Yeah, you
Exactly.
got to use those situations to play for where you want to go. It may not be what the situation even requires, but you have to set your own barometer for your goals.
hmm
So if it's your goal to play on the big stage, use the small stage
Mhm.
as your practice time to prepare you for the big stage. So when they call you for the big stage, it'll be second nature.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah,
Always
And
start on a
also,
small
yeah,
platform.
and also
yeah,
going back to what I was saying, like your heart posture. Like we are big on that. Like your heart has to be right
yeah.
in order for you to
Exactly.
handle those type of situations. Your faith has to be strong
It has to be
because
strong.
you
Yeah.
can enter
Jesus.
To
big
do it for the right
rooms
reason too.
and yeah, you can enter like big rooms that you think you're ready for, and they can show you a whole different side of things that you would have never thought
That you
that you would
can't
see.
handle. Hmm.
Yeah, and it makes you and it'll make you question your faith because of the fact of what they believe in. So like a lot of we gotta remember a lot of opportunities is out of our hands. Like God gives us these opportunities.
True.
We are just the
Exactly.
best. We're just the vehicle to uh you know be as an impact with our ability to play and serve on a high level.
True, true.
And to be
Uh,
honest with you, bro, to add to that, I feel like that's what many like young musicians now with today. I feel like they just look at it as like only talent got them there, but like it's way bigger than talent. It's it's all about God because God opens doors, bro. That's
Hmm.
that's 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 what many young people don't get is that we didn't get here on our own.
Nope.
Sometimes we feel like we got here on our own, but sometimes we don't understand like God opened the door, and that's why every time when you get a gig or something, I'm always thankful for every opportunity because I realize it's not just me.
yes,
It's
sir.
not just me. It's God.
Hmm. And
It's
he
not
plays through us too. Like
exactly.
a lot of things that we do, and a lot of I think the thing is, especially for a lot of younger guys or just guys in general, just watching and they see all the amazingness. Sometimes we're our spirit man is connected to a point where it's like it's out of our control.
Hmm.
Like our fingers is just because we're surrendering. Like of course, a lot of stuff that we're playing that's just supernatural. It seems supernatural. It is like it's one of them things where like we're not operating in our own strength.
True.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know
Yes.
what I mean? Like when you and it's okay. That's not to say that don't go and practice or don't be efficient at your craft, but that's it's. I'm saying that to say that remember that you know, God gives the gifts,
Yes.
and
Exactly.
when you have a special anointing on your life, it's going to carry. You don't draw the people. God going to draw the people with your gift. So it doesn't matter what genre you're playing or what arena you're in. Just know that, like, He has something special for you that is going to be appealing to those that you may be working with, or, you know, the audience.
Because that can instantly minister into someone's life, because you never know, you could be changing somebody's life with, you
Exactly.
know, exactly, yeah.
If I could piggyback off of some of the things that Jeremy said, one thing that Jeremy said that really stuck out with me, and I wish I kind of knew this when I was a little younger. You know, all of the doors that God may open, sometimes they might not be gospel music. You
Hmm.
know, it's a door, and of course, I'm a pastor's kid, so you know, if I started playing secular music, it would probably be a major problem for me. Um, but at the same time, you supposed to take light into the dark areas. You know,
Mm-hmm.
how can you do that if you just stay amongst light? So,
True.
so you never
Yes.
know what God may do. He may open a door to bring you into those camps to be a light, you know, and shine that amongst the people, regardless of what situation you're in. You know, as a musician, especially growing up as a church
Mhm.
musician, we shied away from secular opportunities because we thought we would be forsaking God, or not staying true to our principles, not realizing that it's a part of our profession, and it's
Exactly. We're
also a
called to
part
be the
of
light
our,
of the world.
yeah, it's a part of our
Exactly.
assignment. We have to be the light in those
That's all.
places, and sometimes God will bring you into those doors to simply be a light. And another thing that Jeremy said that I wanted to piggyback off of, you know, is many times that we play that we don't even know what we're playing. It's just coming out of our spirit. But at the same time, it's coming from what you deposited
Hmm.
when you practice, when you've done your due diligence in your craft. Now you surrender that offering to God, and He does with it what He may. But you can't just go to him with nothing to offer and think you're going to play like the best in the world. You using those practice times, it's almost as if it's a devotion to God. Second Timothy says, study to show
Approve.
thyself approved unto God. So
That's not
basically,
just with the word.
yeah,
That's with
yeah,
your attitude.
whatever it is, study to show yourself approved unto God. So when God looks at your study habits, then he honors your request to be promoted. But if you don't be approved by God, the promotion doesn't come. You understand? So most people don't equate the studying to God approving their promotion. But that's where the promotion comes from. So when he looks at your practice time, the artists don't see your practice time. The artists don't see you on YouTube studying.
Hmm.
God see it.
Oh my
And
God.
guess what?
Exactly.
God allows somebody in the artist camp to go to the artist and be like, hey, look at this kid. Look at this guy doing this, blah, blah. The promotion is coming from God. He'll speak to somebody that'll put your name in a room that your feet never
Exactly.
stepped. But your
Exactly.
study habits is what approved you.
Yep.
It
It's all about
approves
how
you
much you want it.
to,
Exactly.
yeah. So when everybody else is asleep, when everybody else want to go out to eat, when everybody else wants to folly and stuff, you at home honing in on your craft, studying to show yourself approved. So when the situation comes for you to be promoted, you're ready already.
Hmm.
You
Because the
don't
hunger,
get,
drove, and
yeah,
driven
you don't
you.
get
The
ready
hunger.
when the opportunity come. You
You get
already
ready.
ready for when the opportunity presents itself. I tell most musicians, if somebody called you on the road today, are you ready right now?
Now. Yep.
If you're not
Exactly.
ready right
They're
now,
going to move on and find somebody else
that's why
that is ready.
promotion hasn't come. You can't play to a click. You can't retain music. I know some of the best musicians in the world that can't retain music.
Hmm.
And so if I put you on a tour and you got to play 28 songs, how you gonna manage?
Exactly.
So you gotta build your mind up to be able to retain information. How do you do that? During your practice time, listening to things several times till you almost brainwash yourself with the material that you can play it in your sleep.
Exactly. Because
Hmm.
the only reason you can do everything in public is what you do in private. What you
It's what you
practice in
do in
private,
private,
it will
and,
display in public.
and you practice practice that. You practice it. Practice how you want to perform. You have certain rules of retention. First, you got to listen to get the information. Then you got to retain the information. These are all different muscles. You listen to the information, you retain the information. Now you have to perform the information that you retain,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes you can know it here, but it hasn't reached here. You haven't got it here yet. So now I know the information. So now I got to perform out the information that's in my mind. And those are all different muscles of your brain that you have to work. So now you retain the information. Now you perform the information. And once you do that, that's how you get your that's how you strengthen your performance.
Exactly.
Play it how you practice it.
Play it
Practice
how
it
you.
how you
Exactly.
want to play it.
That's a yep. That's the slogan. Play it how you want to play.
Yeah,
Practice how you want
practice
to
how you
play
want
it,
to play it and play it how you practice it.
Exactly.
and then
So and just keep repeating that cycle. Keep repeating that cycle. Keep repeating that cycle. And it becomes a habitual thing that you use in that genre. And these are principles, honestly, these are principles that just don't apply to Christianity.
okay, hold on. Let me pause right there. Somebody said, "I don't think your relationship with God has anything to do with your skill, practice, and retaining His knowledge." We're not saying that.
Yeah,
We're
right.
saying what we're saying is
Mhm.
Talent can take you as
you,
far, but it can't
yeah,
take you, far
like
enough.
Right.
yeah. What we're saying
It's,
is
yeah, I was actually headed towards that before they
yeah,
even commented. These principles, they're just mirrored with success. You'll find a lot of principles that are in the Bible. They just work, like the law of reaping and sowing. You don't have to be a Christian. It's
nope.
the law of reaping and sowing. Whatsoever you sow, that's what you're gonna reap. You could be an atheist, but these principles that we're giving you, God's principles work whether you include them or not. The principles I'm giving you are principles that will make you be successful, period. But what we're saying is you don't want success without God because that's
Trust
not
me, you
success.
don't
Because
want
what
that.
does it profit a man to
Well,
gain the whole world
we're in losers
and lose his
and
soul?
truth
Now
be
you can get the opportunities. You can go through the doors because your gift is the one that's going to make room for you. You can get all these opportunities, but you don't want to do that and not have your
Exactly.
salvation be
It's
serious.
something when
and true and truth be
your talent and God is behind everything. It's something about
Yeah.
that, man.
yep. And truth be told, don't let a lot of musicians that are on them high platforms fool you, because there are some of them that are
Yeah.
unhappy where they are. They're doing it because it's a means of taking care of themselves.
Yeah.
But not everybody that's on that platform is happy. Like
Yeah.
one thing I had to realize too as a professional is there are some opportunities that's meant for you, and there are some opportunities that are not. Just because you going for opportunity doesn't mean that it's meant for you. Doesn't
Mhm.
mean that no opportunities are meant for you.
Right.
And that means it has to be the right
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah.
That's not questioning your ability. It's just, it's almost like temperaments. Like certain people can be around for certain people for how long because of their
Yeah.
temperaments, or just certain people just vibe with certain people.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like it all works together.
And Jeremy, that's one of the things you said is every opportunity isn't for you. I mean, you can always go back to the Bible to to get this information. When Jesus had finished being fasted, the Bible say he was directed into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And the first thing the devil did was tempt him with the world.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I'll give you the world. Now, the world would belong to Jesus after he died, but he was offering him the world while he was alive. So sometimes what we don't realize is Satan has a promotion
Mm-hmm.
that normally comes before you would actually be prepared.
Yep.
So sometimes he tries to push you out before time, and because you know that may be your destiny, you go and jump for it now. Now realizing if you take that opportunity, it will actually destroy you.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So he offered him what was already his, but he offered it to him before time. And one thing
Exactly.
about Satan, he normally gives you a down payment. See, with God, you have to work and take your time and build
Mm-hmm.
from the ground. Satan
Exactly.
gives you your stuff up front. Then once you grab it, then he snatch it away. And so all these opportunities, like he said, promotion comes from God, but also Satan has his own promotion.
Mm-hmm.
And normally it's a trick. And don't be fooled. A lot of people that are successful, some of them aren't happy, but some are happy and some are Christians. They may
Mm-hmm.
not publicize their beliefs because of the world systems that we live in, but there's a lot of people that honor God.
Mm-hmm.
They may not go to church every week. They may not sing on a choir or preach, but they honor God in their life. And that is the most important thing. You have to honor God. And so I'm always going to support honoring God, whether you on the stage to do secular, whether you on the stage to do gospel, whatever the platform is, whether it be whatever the genre is, honor God with your life. Our music is our profession. It's something great, but musicians, we take a lot of flack because if it's not gospel, we think it's not God. But the people at church can work at Walmart. They could work at a Fortune 500 company that you know what I'm saying? Like their bosses are not saved. We're not going into interviews saying, "Are you saved? Do you recognize Jesus as your savior?" It's okay for them, but it's not okay for us. And
Mm-hmm.
so, you have to have your own personal conviction, and you have to have your own belief of what you are and what you stand for with God. And that just has to be your thing. And if I knew that earlier in life, I would have probably taken other opportunities outside of gospel music. But it's something that you learn in your journey, and I can help other guys that come up the same way I come up
Mm-hmm.
to go through those doors. But just make sure you're secure in who you are and what your relationship with God is. But like I said, man, I'm honored to be on the platform. The keys that Jeremy is speaking today, it works for the believer and the unbeliever.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't believe God, you put in the time, you put in the work. The Bible say, "Whatsoever
Mm-hmm.
a man sows,
And you
that
reap.
it says that will he also reap.
Mhm.
Whatsoever a man sows, that will he reap." So you're not going to sow in one area and reap in another. You're gonna reap in the area that you sown in.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
whatever
also,
you want to see, whatever you want to be successful in, sow into that, and you will reap.
reap.
You
And,
just want to make sure in the time of reaping that you're prepared to receive the harvest. So
exactly.
that's
And
my spirit.
also, remembering, like, I want to speak for not just musicians, singers, just everybody in here. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. So that means you cannot compare yourself to somebody else. Like,
Exactly.
they're them
Never
because
do. Never you
they're
want to do
them.
that.
You're you because you're you. Your
Exactly.
purpose is different
There can only
from
be one.
everybody else.
And
Right.
there's an audience.
So
There's an audience for every gift.
everybody.
For every gift.
And just because just because you do a certain genre, that doesn't make you any better than anybody else.
Exactly.
This is where a lot of musicians go wrong. They try to they try to downplay one genre because they try to compare it to money. When you make this like your main intention, you have lost it. Not saying that you don't need money, and of course you need to handle your business, but also don't make this your main attention.
Exactly.
You got to
Exactly.
go back to the love for your craft, the reason why you do it, the purpose, like making the impact. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, because truth be told, a lot of the musicians that you see now that are on top platforms, they came from where?
Church.
Church.
Most of them, yeah.
Most
Most
of
of them.
them came from church. So it's a matter of, like, remember where you came from. Like, that's why I say it's important to have foundation.
Most of
You
them
have
started in
foundation,
church
and you
grounds.
always remember that.
Most of them started in church grounds, and most of them are still in church grounds. When they come off that road, they be
Be
back serving their
back
local
in
church.
church.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
And
When they
it
go
is
off
personal for
tour
me when
and off
people
them live recordings, right back in church they claim.
right
right
Hmm.
back in
in church.
church.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is, like, believe it or not, the secular arena is influenced by
Of
the
course.
church.
Of
Like,
course.
That's where it all started.
hence why a lot of they pull on a lot of church musicians because of the fact of that they know they have a natural gift to
Yeah.
be able to connect with them in the way where they want to go, and everything is a spiritual thing.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah. I
So,
agree.
like, it's I would say, like, um definitely a foundation. I also would say it's for a young up and coming musician. Um, always, and I repeat, always remember each level you go, you're being molded. You ever heard of like the Potter's Wheel? Like most of the people that you work with on that level, believe it or not, they're being molded while you are too. While they're molding you, they're being molded too, because they're discovering different things that they're experiencing that they can know for the next time around, or just what works in general. So it's we're all molding each other. So
Mhm.
one is being molded by God while he's molding the person that he's taking along with him. So everybody's being molded.
Yeah, great.
So yeah, I would say that. And it's okay to like what you like. It's okay. It's nothing wrong. I don't discriminate no styles of music. It's I mean, we all need it. I mean, it sparks inspiration from something.
Yeah,
That's how you remember I was telling you about like identity. Like that's where it comes from.
yeah.
Like it's a thing. But I definitely want to encourage the younger musician. Not every older musician is hating, and I also want to speak to the older generation. Not every younger musician is trying to be combative. I think that we need to focus on bridging the gap because each generation can learn from each generation. It's iron sharpening iron. You get what I'm saying? So this is why I like pulling from both.
Me too.
That's what helps you be a well-rounded musician because of every nuance, but everything that uh, uh I don't necessarily want to call it the old aunts, but you can call it the old aunts. But they both work together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, exactly. So, like Twan know too. Like truth be told, I've learned some stuff from him as well. I've learned. I didn't just become just amazingness overnight. I had my fair share of learning too.
You didn't become amazing overnight, but you're amazing now,
Like
huh?
I had my
I
fair
just,
share.
I
I
just
had
kidding. Now,
I
Antoine,
had my fair share.
yeah, Antoine is a beast man. The first time I heard Antoine Walker, I
Yeah,
was like,
he's
yeah,
amazing.
and there's another guy. He plays in church. He's played secular. You know what I'm saying? You've heard him on some of your best records. These guys can attest to, hey, I'm able to still be secure in my salvation while being on the road with an R&B artist, while being and come back and do a choir record, and then go back on the road with another R&B artist, then come back
Mm-hmm.
and play a church. Like these things were condemned when we were coming up. So these for some of these guys to do it, especially when you're talking about some of them almost 30 to 40 years old and 45, almost 50 in the times that we were coming up, those things were forbidden. you know, so when you did that, you could be ostracized. So for them to do that, they had to be really trailblazers in their specific communities to make these stats like, hey man, I'm gonna go and get some of these opportunities while still being true to who I am. So these guys had to come against some persecution, sometimes some being ostracized from, from family or from churches or from certain communities because you did take some of these opportunities. And now because they have done that, it has made it so much easier for the younger guys to be able to do both. To be like when I came on the scene, there wasn't a such thing as a full-time musician. I never saw it before. The musicians that I saw, they were coming off of being a plumber, an auto mechanic. They had different, you know what I'm saying? They had different, occupations to be
Larry,
to survive because music wasn't as lucrative as it is now. So when I started doing it, not to say I'm a great beacon of light, but when I started doing it in my community, I was one of the first guys to go after it for a living. So I didn't have a template of how to do it. So some of it came with trial and error. But because of that, I'm able to tell the younger guys how to navigate through those spaces because of my experience. So it may not take them 5 to 10 years as it took me to get financially stable, to, to understand how to put away money, to do those type of things because I've already suffered so they won't have to. So a lot of the
Exactly.
younger guys have such a great platform now because when we were coming up, the way you got noticed, you actually had to be out here playing. It wasn't no YouTube clips.
No
It wasn't
social
no
media.
Facebook. It wasn't no social media. When people discover you, it's because they heard you. So you didn't just get out your bed and start playing for a national artist. It didn't work
Impossible.
like that. When
Hmm.
you got those opportunities, it's because they saw you playing at an event and you had to prove yourself at an event, and then you got the opportunities. Nowadays, you can get right out your bed, play a 15-second, 30-second clip. Somebody sees that clip and bring you out on the road. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So, so,
real.
so that's why you'll see some of the work ethic is different from the older guys because we literally had to get out in the streets
Mm-hmm.
and make a name for ourselves. So I may not have the 10,000 followers of some of the younger guys, but I know the people
Mm-hmm.
that that's following you because I played in those cities. I went to those states. I went to those countries. I did the legwork. Social media didn't make me who I am.
Nope.
And that's the difference between the younger generation and the newer generation because you got some of the younger guys that's going around, because they got 20,000 followers, but they don't have
Yeah.
$17 in their account because those followers don't equate to money. Those followers don't equate to opportunity.
Nope.
So while everybody knows you, everybody don't call you.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Where
True.
I can have
Mm-hmm.
100 followers, but I'm out on the road every month. It's never a time I'm in the house.
Exactly.
And I'm
And just
saying that
because we don't
uh,
show it doesn't mean it's not
yeah, I'm not
happening.
posting everywhere I am, but I've already done the legwork for 20 years. I have networks all over the country. So I'm going to be moving versus a guy that's got 20, 30,000 followers still sitting in his bedroom hoping that somebody call him for an event in his own city.
Mm-hmm.
So you just got to make sure you know that all success, or sometimes what we view as successful, ain't success. 20, 30,000 followers, they could have bought them. Or who is following them? Out of the 20 and 30,000 people that are following them, 3 of them may be important. 3 of them may be able to open up a door. So don't look at the followers. Don't look at the clout. When you see them on the airplanes, you don't know that they bought that ticket. They going in there trying to, trying to get in those rooms. So don't allow the fanfare and don't allow what seems to be successful. Don't allow that to drive your motivation in getting better. Don't allow that to drive your motivation into becoming what you want to in your craft. I know guys that have 30,000 followers and that only play in C sharp. You know, no,
That's a real thing.
and I'm being
It's a real
serious.
thing.
And if we both walk into a room, majority of the younger guys is going to gravitate to the person that can play in 2 keys. And I've been playing in all 12 for over 20 years. So you understand what I'm saying? So all of that doesn't matter when it comes to you want to get better to be a great steward over your craft. You want to do that not for the fanfare, because the same people that promote you will be the same people that turn on you.
True.
So you don't want to get into being everybody's favorite player and
Yep.
your who's who and all that stuff. People put their favorite players on the list.
All the
Half of the time people put
time.
their top players on the list is because they want those top players to repost them in their stories so they'll get followers. Oh
And
yeah, this
that
guy my biggest influence. You can't even name 2 records he played on. How are you a big influence?
and
But they're
I
doing that
want
so the guys can repost them and put them in their story so everybody go to their story and see what they can do. All that stuff is a game, man. You can't get into
yep.
that stuff.
And I want to add this. Even from your colleagues that you see are, that are in places that you want to be, don't hate on them. Celebrate them. Because one day you're
Celebrate.
gonna get your opportunity. You don't know what they could be doing with your name because of your relationship.
Yep.
Like, so celebrate them. Don't badmouth them to everybody
Yep.
because that follows you everywhere.
Yep.
And also, when you're building a relationship, with guys. Don't build relationship off the intent of having to pull from them. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Because then it becomes a thing where they feel like all they good for is because they're connected to something that you want. So you pulling from them, and the second that they cannot do anything, then it's like, oh, we not friends no more, or we can't. No, it shouldn't be never about that.
yeah. Building those relationships got to be from a place of honesty. I'm not Jeremy's friend because he's a good drummer. Jeremy's a good person. And
Exactly.
and if Jeremy becomes an MD over the situation, I don't expect him to call me because he's the MD over the situation. Because our friendship is not based upon our musicianship.
Exactly. Able to
Musicians
move
do that
beyond
all
that.
the time. Because I'm the MD, that don't mean I'm gonna call you. And because I don't call you, doesn't mean I don't respect you musically. It may not just be what I need for the situation I'm in. But me being a leader in certain situations doesn't automatically guarantee you a call. I got
It
to call
doesn't.
who can do the job. And sometimes the people that can do the job for what I need is out of state.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's not no hate to who's in my city.
Nope.
That's not no hate to say people can't do it, but that's not what I prefer. And when I'm the boss, I'm going to call what I prefer because they've given me that option. And so don't go in these situations making friends with these guys thinking they're going to call you. They're going to call you when they want to, and they're going to call who works and what works for them. So that's why you make sure you do what you can to keep your name good, keep good
Mm-hmm.
relationships with everybody, so in the event that they want to call you, they can call you because you have a good reputation everywhere.
Even
Sometimes
with
people dog the
artists.
people, they dog the people in their city and don't care about them, and then worry about people everywhere else but where they live. No,
Yep.
no, no. Take care of home. Make sure your people good. When you go out of town, you can be respectful to those guys, but come back home and make sure you stay respectful. Don't get in these situations and then all of a sudden your home mean nothing. Everybody in your area suck and they whack and they bammers, but they made you. So keep respect for everybody. You be good to everybody, and when your name gets called, you ain't got to worry about trying to fix stuff with people because you keep those relationships pure, and you don't make those relationships solely beneficiary
Mhm.
based. I'm cool with this guy. I'm cool with this guy because they on this gig. I'm cool with this guy because they on this tour. I'm cool. And that's not a way to live. If
Yeah,
if you
it's
want real
not.
friends, you gotta show yourself to be friendly.
Hmm. And
So that's
also,
enough for me.
like the guys that the guys that I mentor, a lot of the nuggets I give them or the stuff I show them is because I want them to have it. It's not out of, oh, I'm doing them a favor. I want them to get this because some of this stuff was never taught to me. So what good is it to have all this information that I've acquired, and I see somebody that's traveling down the same pathway I am, and I see the trap that they're about to be set in.
Mhm.
What good is it if I don't give them the information so they can avoid that?
Yep.
To avoid, see, and that's the thing. Like, it's about preparing the next generation for what's next to come. And sometimes I think what we do is we hold on to, like, example for like gigs of of stamping. Oh, this is my gig. This is my gig. No, that's not how it works. Because if the artist dies, or if the artist decides to go another route, that's no longer your gig, and you still you. So look at it as, yes, you're blessed to be in that position, right?
Yeah.
But don't make it so at, oh, you're invincible to the point where you cannot be replaced, because
Yeah.
nowadays everybody can play, everybody.
Yeah.
And so it goes back to what I was telling you, like, what makes you valuable. And like I said, when you're a giving person, and what Phil said, you're gonna reap it. When you give, you reap it. You sowing a seed. So there's nothing wrong with sowing a seed. because you're gonna reap a harvest. You always wanna take a situation where it's like, okay, in purity and honesty, to the point where now people know that your intents are good.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. It's a real thing. So that's so a lot of what I know. That's why I give credit to where credit is due, but I also say that I'm still building it as well. I might have achieved a lot that many haven't, but I'm also learning still while I'm growing in it in a soaring. Like um a wise person, it was a drummer that many probably know, many don't. His name is Nathaniel Townsend. I remember years ago I asked him, I said, man, how did you get to this particular level in your career and your plan where it's just like everything you do is just right? He told me something so simple. He said, and I think Twan, you was there too when he said it. He said, enjoy the journey that you're on. Now, it sounds simple, but when you sit down and analyze it, what he was saying was your journey is your journey. You're going to learn stuff along the way. You can't force something. You can't force yourself to learn, like to get something right now. Like it just it's a
Exactly.
part of
Don't
your
force the
development.
process.
Yeah, it's a process.
Exactly.
It's a part of your development. Everybody's developing. It's like being a parent. Like when you're a first time parent, you don't have it all together. You learn it along the way. It's with anything, marriage, anything. You learn along the way. So that's what this music game is. We're learning along the way. A lot of us.
Exactly, man. I want to thank y'all so much for joining, though. It's an honor to have you both on the show, man. Bill Walker and Geremy Wimbush, man. Hopefully we cross paths, bro. I gotta have you on the
For sure.
podcast soon, brother Phil. I
Yes,
gotta
sir.
soon
For
have you on
sure.
the pod, bro.
For sure.
But yeah, this is the Jay's Music Talk signing out with these two guys. Thank y'all so much. All right,
Yes,
Peace.
sir.
All right, guys.
all right,
Peace.
bro.